everyone has the right to have an education. And of course, everyone has the right to learn English for free. I really want to help as many people as I can. And I want to do that for free because I find joy doing that. Well, our group is a group that we called MAOFEN. MAOFEN are like the two letters of the words Masters of English. We want to give people the opportunity to talk, to interact between themselves, but also at the same time, we want them to learn about the power of helping each other. I don't find joy in having 1,000 followers, that for me, that's not the aim, I would rather have 80 people who are really committed and engaged in the group and that are trying to give their best, not only to improve their level, but to help others to improve their level. You learn a language by using it.
Welcome back, guys. You are listening to my Fluent podcast. My name is Daniel Goodson, and you just listened to Gabriel from Spain, and he conducted an interview with me a couple days ago. Now it was my turn to interview him. For those of you who can remember, back in episode 11, I started out for the very first time with my method about conducting interviews in order to become a better English speaker. Well, of course, not only that, it's also to connect with people, with great people. And by the way, Gabriel has not only mastered the English language, no, he also gives away and shares his knowledge to others and teaches how to become a fluent English speaker. And that's just amazing. But listen for yourself, buckle up and have fun. It's kind of funny because you interviewed me a couple days ago and now it's my turn.
Yes. You try to pay me back. To pay back. And yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. It's a pleasure being with you here, of course. Yeah, thank you.
You may introduce yourself by saying which languages you are learning.
Well, right now I'm trying to continue because I started many years ago with Arabic, and I'm trying to restart that and start talking with some members from the group that we have. And I'm also interested in learning Filipino because we have got some friends from the Philippines in our group, and that's also my checklist. But I also speak Italian, so in this case, I try to refresh it talking with some of the members as well, So those are the languages I'm now trying to practice and improve.
And is it right you are an English teacher?
Yes, I teach English, yeah. The reason I lived in England for several years, and when I came back, people started to ask me about, can you help me with my English because I have got this subject or whatever at school, and one thing led to the other. In the end, I started to work full time as an English teacher. Yeah,
great. And do you think it is a good approach to learn a language by joining a Facebook group?
Well, right now with the COVID situation, maybe it's probably almost the only way. It's not the only way because there are many online options, but it's definitely a very good way. And it could be also a cheap way, a very inexpensive, free, really, because you don't have to do anything else but join a group. Of course, there are many possibilities, but it's a good way because you can talk to people from so many different places with different backgrounds, different ideas. So it's a very good way to exchange opinions, points of view, and to definitely use the language that you want to learn or improve.
Well, why I asked you this is because I know that you have a Facebook group, and maybe you could explain more about it.
Well, our group is a group that we called MAOFEN. MAOFEN are like the two letters of the words Masters of English. And the reason for this group was that it just started a few months ago. Officially, the Facebook group started just a month ago, and we have been working for 2 months, more or less. And we were just a small group of people from different countries who wanted to talk about, like interesting topics, to discuss. not just the typical, how do you do, how can I get a ticket to go to whatever. And then suddenly we started to have more members interested in joining, and the group was created as such. The original idea, or the idea that is the philosophy behind, is that we want to help as much as we can other people to learn English. And behind this idea, we have also the Kangaroo English. Christian Saunders, founder of Kangaroo English. Him, and many people that listen to your podcast know about him too. And I was actually quite touched by his philosophy of free education for everyone. Everyone has the right to have an education, and of course, everyone has the right to learn English for free. And that really struck a chord with me, because for a long time in this world of being a teacher, an English teacher, I followed the flow. I followed the stream, the mainstream of how to become a successful English teacher, which for me meant how can I have more students and make more money. So for a long time, I was like, I have to create a Facebook page or maybe a YouTube channel, and I have to have followers, and I need to have people, wanting to pay to have sessions. That's how I'm going to make money. Blah, 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 blah. Then I was thinking about I should create a course and people will pay for the course. Anyway, I was thinking about all these things. And then suddenly I came across Christian, and it really touched my fiber, something inside me. Mm-hmm. That made me think, well, really, I don't want to do this, I really want to help as many people as I can. And I want to do that for free because I find joy doing that. So luckily in the group, there were people were like-minded, thinking the same. Jason, for example, he's one of the founders of the group, and he has got the same kind of idea, I just want to help people. And we thought, well, if we want to help people, let's help people. And the group was created, So that's the idea. We want to give people the opportunity to talk, to interact between themselves, but also at the same time, we want them to learn about the power of helping each other. Okay? Because we think that sometimes this is forgotten or is not considered, because it's like people want to learn a language and they are just thinking, I want to improve this language. So I have to talk to people, I have to know people, and let's see where I can get this information, where I can get more knowledge, where I can improve my level of English. And we are not against that. We kind of want people to realize that there's much more to learn English than just me improving. Yeah. And there's a beautiful world there, which is actually the world of just giving and sharing. Well, you know about this because you do that too. You share your knowledge and your learning.
I understand you 100%, and you are kind of an inspiration to me because it's just great to see how much energy you put into it. Because basically, you give lessons. Online lessons over Zoom. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, we could say that, yeah.
And how many teachers do you have who are supporting you by doing this?
Okay, teachers. There are teachers in the group, people who have joined us recently, and are teachers, and they are trying to. I have talked to them and trying to see that if they can help other people by correcting mistakes or by giving them advice or whatever. Please do as much as you can. But the meetings as such, they are run by myself and 3 more members who actually are not teachers. They are just learners of English. Okay, but really, our meetings are partially they are a lesson as such. But the most important part is that they are speaking moments. There are opportunities for everyone to talk. So the people who are helping me, which are Jason, Abhishek, and Hadil, they basically host meetings too, and they offer questions to the people, to the members, in order for them to be able to talk. So teaching lessons, as you could imagine, the typical concept that we have of a lesson. Really, I do that, and I've got other members, like for example, Roshan Banjari from Nepal, who actually creates his own lessons of grammar because he likes grammar. He's learning, And what he does is he has lessons with some other members of the group, and he explains grammar to them.
Okay, I see.
So
is it
open? That's what
open?
we're doing.
Is the group open for everyone?
Yes, everyone can join, but I mean, not as in, you just come and join. You have to request access, and you have to answer some questions, because what we found at the beginning, right at the beginning, is that people wanted to join. I don't know if you have seen this or you have noticed this in the social media and the online world, but people want to be everywhere. People want to join every single group and be everywhere. So if you're learning English, you are going to be in 250 groups. And if there are 300 groups, you'll try to be in those 300 groups. Well, I find this is not actually good. It's actually the contrary. It's not going to help you improve more your language, because in the end, you're going to stick with one or two groups most, and you're going to work with them. Or maybe you are in 200 groups and you don't work with any. So I'm saying this because many of the members that we had at the beginning were members that tried to join because, oh my God, there's a new group, we have to join this group. And then we realized that they didn't participate, they didn't post anything, they didn't interact with members, they didn't even participate in our meetings, in our Zoom meetings. So we actually had decided that this was not worth it for us. We weren't interested in having I don't know. So yeah, as I was saying, people that weren't participating at all, and we decided that we didn't want to have followers. We don't want to have people that follow our group, and I don't find joy in having 1,000 followers. That for me, that's not the aim. I would rather have 80 people who are really committed and engaged in the group, and that are trying to give their best in order not only to improve their level, but to help others to improve their level. So with that in mind, we have accepted new people now, but at the same time, we are actually eliminating people that we have seen that are not doing anything.
I have noticed that recently a lot of new members joined the group, and so my question is this not a bit, let's say, that every time in a lesson or in a Zoom session there are other members, so it will be really difficult to connect with each other and to learn together. Is there a danger, or what do you think about that?
That could be a danger, because it is true that in order to create a community or a family, that's what we want to do, you need to have people that are there, that stick and are permanent, let's say, or that remain for a longer period. But we have already that people, probably we have got about 40 members that are active, and they are always there. And then in our meetings, we usually are, the most we have been once is 23 people. Usually we are between 10, 12, 15, sometimes 18, and as I told you that time, 23. But what we do is we start a meeting and we try to introduce each other, and then we put them into breakout rooms. So we try to separate them in smaller rooms, which gives them the opportunity to really talk, and to really make connections with other members. So many times I usually make groups of 2-3 members, and that gives them a real opportunity to get to know people. So even the new members get the chance to talk, and they always tell us the same thing. Usually they tell us the same thing. Oh, I felt really good, because I was able to talk and I had a lovely conversation with this person. So I can understand what you're asking about the danger, but to be honest, it hasn't happened, So it is just the way it is. We are just having these members coming into the group, and they're quite participative, But again, as I was telling you, we have accepted these last few weeks, we have accepted about 60 or 70 members. So we have doubled the amount of people that we have in the team. But right now, we are also eliminating about 20 members that haven't done anything in the group at all, So we are doing the same. We are accepting people that want to participate, and we are eliminating people who have not been active at all. Because as I told you before, this is for me the important thing. I mean, what's the point otherwise of being in a group if you're not going to actually do anything in the group? I understand that, social media don't work like this, but just because social media doesn't work like this, why do I have to do it the same way? I mean, it is obvious that you don't learn a language just by becoming a member of a group. You learn a language by using it. And this is something that some people don't understand. You just follow or subscribe to a YouTube channel and you follow this group and suddenly you feel better. Why? I mean, what have you done in order to improve your language if you haven't even started to use it in your
Yeah,
daily
I,
package?
I saw this for the first time in the Kangaroo English group. I was fascinated by how often people would publish their own videos. And that was just fantastic because usually the normal type of groups which you see is rather packed with quizzes, packed with a lot of pictures and so on. But there is not a lot behind it, so
Yes.
it's not personal. So I kind of like these groups in which you see that there is a community building up. And my question to you now is, where do you see your group in, let's say, 6 months? Or do you have a vision in mind?
Well, I really, I mean, I hope that we are still here in 6 months. I think that we will be, because there are a lot of people who are really interested and engaged in and committed to this group. I don't know if we will be a bigger group or we probably will be a smaller group. I don't know, but I don't mind, really. The only thing I could tell you is that I hope that in 6 months we are a family. That's the only thing I hope, that we are a family. And right now, after 2 months that we have been working, we have already seen improvement in some of our members. They actually have been telling us, oh my God, I feel so much confident, much more than before. And some of them speak a bit faster. Okay. And actually some of them have realized of the importance of this, of making a commitment of this learning process. And some of our members are making their own videos. They're working on pronunciation exercises or vocabulary or whatever, and they're taking active participation in the group. And those who are doing that, I can see that they are going further. They are traveling further. So that's what I think in 6 months. I only expect or hope that many of our members feel that improvement in their level of English. And what I do hope most is something that Christian said in one of his videos, and I love it so much. And he said, I hope that you stop following me, you stop watching my videos. And I hope that too. I hope that they stop following me or expecting me or Jason or the members, the admins, calling a meeting. I expect them to be independent, self-sufficient, and ready to say, hey, I'm going to create this topic, I'm going to create this post, I'm going to create this meeting, and I'm going to invite people to talk, and I'm going to offer the opportunity to other people as well as someone offered it to me. This is my hope in 6 months. Hopefully,
Okay.
we'll see.
And I will wish you luck, of course, and I really hope that this is gonna happen. That the people there will master the language, the English language. I have sent you a picture before about this ad I told you. It says, speak German fluently in a month. And then it goes on, German lessons starting at $10, one-on-one lessons with certified German teachers, paper class, 19 hours equals to 1 college semester. So I was wondering, what do you think about such an advertisement? What comes to mind when you see this?
Well, I would say, we have to be realistic. In the end, we are in a world that is a capitalist world or society, and where basically in order to gain a customer, you need to have a catchy headline or a catchy ad. So I would say that this type of ads are catchy, because it's like, fluent in German in 1 month, and it's like, oh my God, in 1 month, that's really, really good. So in the end, maybe it is possible. I'm not saying that it's not possible, okay? Maybe it is possible, but the ad, of course, is not paying attention to the important aspects of that, of that process, which is you need to be 100%, not 100%, 200% motivated. You need to dedicate so much time to that because it needs, you need to make a big effort, and you have to work really hard. You have to work your ass off in order to be able to actually get fluent just in 1 month. I think that, a person should be like talking every single day, 2 or 3 times at least, to be able to acquire that kind of fluency. Definitely,
Yeah.
So yeah, but the thing is that you see this everywhere, not only on ads, but sponsored ads, but also on YouTube. You know that sometimes YouTube videos that you see are catchy as well. You know, the title, the headline is catchy. You know,
Yeah.
trying to call your attention. Like, you
Clickbait.
know, yes,
Yeah.
like clickbait. There you go, perfect. So, and actually, I've seen videos of a guy called Pat Flynn. He's an American guy that has a website called Smart Passive Income, and he talks about how to generate income, and he talks about how to create clickbait, you know, headlines, you
Yeah.
know, or
Yeah.
titles. And of course, be careful, because sometimes, you know, it can be the opposite. It can be not good for you, because it can create an expectation that then is not met by your video. But you see it everywhere. The problem is that because you see it everywhere, people really believe that these kind of things can happen, and in the end you can acquire a good level in like 1 month, and it's like, oh, hang on, you know.
So let's talk about your English journey. So you
Mm-hmm.
mastered the English language, and I'm wondering in which area you struggled the most, and how did you overcome the obstacles?
Okay. Well, I have to say that I have been through different stages. Well, you know that because it's pretty similar to your country, but in Spain, we at my time, I'm 41 now, so at my time when I was like 15 or 13, we studied English, and it was very theoretical. So we didn't speak it. You know, it was more like very little listenings, very few listening exercises, and grammar and reading. So my first challenge was when I actually had to go to live in England, because as soon as I arrived, I had to work at a shop selling ice creams. And the boss put me there, as I said, and she explained to me all the ice creams. And for me, the most difficult part was the speaking at that moment. Okay, how did I overcome that? Well, because I was forced to do it. You know? So I couldn't do anything else. You know, I had to do it. I was working, and I had to talk to people, and I learned as I was doing it. Okay, I didn't study first and then no. As I was working, I was talking, I realized I was making mistakes. I realized I had to improve something. And then there was a second stage while I was still living in England, and that was because I wanted to prepare for an exam for Cambridge for the advanced level, and I hadn't done any writing. I mean, I like writing, but I'm not a writer. So I had private lessons with a teacher to help me a little bit with some advice, you know. But I took probably 3 or 4 lessons, no more, because I just wanted to have a general idea, and that's when I overcome also my writing experience. And I have to say that my writing has improved a lot after that, because I have kept practicing. I have kept writing all the time. So pretty much what Christian says, you know, keep practicing on that field, on that area, and you will improve, of course, you know. So those were my two areas, definitely.
Okay, and maybe if you could give the most important tip you want to give to a language learner, which one would it be? What is the most important thing?
Put into practice. Now, there are many more, but put into practice. You know, whatever you learn, go and share it, go and talk it, go and use it. Put into practice, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you very much. It was really fantastic to talk to you. And I would be really glad if we could do this in the future again, because it's always great to talk to you, really. So thank you very much, Gabriel.
Well, thank you, Daniel. It was great. And thank you for the questions. They were very interesting. And thank you for trying to share a little bit about my experience too in your podcast. And definitely, you know, let's try to talk about this maybe in in half a year, maybe. We'll see what happens. Yes?
Yeah, definitely. Bye,
Bye.
Gabriel.
Take care, Daniel. Thank you.
I kind of like the idea of having a community of really enthusiastic learners who are helping each out to become a better English speaker, or it could be any language, to be honest. So it's a great project, I think, and Gabriel gave a lot of great insight of what he thinks about language learning in general. Let's have a look at the answer Gabriel gave about the italki advertisement picture. And this situation shows us how good he is in communicating and how diplomatic he expresses himself. It's just fantastic. I mean, he had not a lot of time to prepare this, and he didn't blame them, or no, he starts by saying we have to be realistic in the end. Well, we are in a capitalist world, and it's just the way things work. In order to get customers, you need to have a catchy headline or a catchy ad. Well, it's just how things work these days, and my humble opinion is that, well, it could be possible, of course, in 1 month, but as Gabriel explained it, you need to work your ass off. And the typical answer to this question is that people blame italki because it's just not possible, usually. And Gabriel makes quick connections. He just mentions Pat Flynn, a guy who's podcasting about a similar topic, how to make catchy titles, etc. It just comes spontaneously and it's just great. Well, I needed to concentrate quite a lot because Gabriel is speaking very fast, you know, and I didn't dare to stop him and ask him other questions. But well, okay, let's be honest, I am still in the beginning of this interviewing journey, but I think it's an excellent way to get better in your target language, because you really need to focus what the person is saying. You need to focus and you just need to speak, and there is no pause button in which you can just stop the conversation, which is great because you are really forced to go on. Well, let's rethink this, because actually it was Gabriel speaking, but nevertheless you need to be concentrating on the things he's saying. And another great thing is that, well, I'm trying to do a transcript, and then I can go about the answers again. I mean, I can re-listen to them very carefully, and that way I will pick up the speaking patterns Gabriel used and new vocabulary. I feel the urge to comment on every answer Gabriel gave, and it was really excellent how he answered to all of my questions, which are in a way bizarre sometimes. I mean, I asked him to introduce himself by saying what languages he is speaking. So, but I'm gonna finish up here. I'm gonna wrap this up. It is a rather longer episode, well, of course, because it's an interview, and this will not be the last interview I'm gonna conduct, because I really like this format. I like this method to learn English by interviewing other people. It's just very interesting and engaging, I think. If you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss any interview or tips and tricks on how to become a fluent speaker in any languages. I'm Daniel Goodson, and you were listening to my Fluent podcast. Bye!
The only thing I could tell you is that I hope that in 6 months, we are a family. That's the only thing I hope, that we are a family.
Hello Gabriel, this is Arvin Laksamana from the Philippines, and I just want to say thank you for teaching and helping us in learning English.
The most incredible group of English just for communication is, of course, MAOFEN, Masters of English, and I hope that our group stay always like this, and yeah, goodbye.
Hey Gab, I hope you're doing alright. I just want to say thank you for being a really great friend to me. Take care.
Hello Gabriel, thank you so much for your effort. We are grateful to have a great teacher like you, Gabriel. Thank you very much.
Hello, it's me Omar. My dear offenders, thank you so much for all, principally for helping me improve my English every day. I am very grateful, principally to Mr. Gabriel, because always support us Thank you so much, my friends.
Hey, it's Thomas from Italy. I appreciate you for supporting us to become better English speakers. You are invited here to eat my lovely pizza. It's ready and very hot.
Thank you very much, Gabriel, for letting me be part of this group, letting me be a MAOFEN. Thank you for your inspiration and motivation.
Hi Gab, I hope this voice record finds you well. Thank you for teaching us. Thank you for your patience and dedication. Thank you for MAOFEN, and I appreciate you so much. Mwah.